Alright, this is a video for wiring a Foxbody Mustang. So I have the wiring harness right here. This is for the car. You can see right here, 8697 Ford Power 4-speaker connector. My Mustang only has 4 speakers, so this is the harness that I need. And we'll go ahead and take it out real quick. So there should be 2 pieces to it. This is for powering the radio itself. Then you have the speakers. So we have those 2 pieces. Then we have the harness for the radio itself, and you have this extra super long light green wire that's supposed to go to the e-brake, and we're not gonna have it go to the e-brake. We are going to use a microcontroller bypass to bypass the e-brake wire right here. Alright, and so these are the tools I have. I have my soldering iron. If I move this out of the way, this is my second hand helper. That's a hot glue gun, I'll show what it's for. And that is a heat iron to shrink wrap that I like to use. So the hot glue gun, what I like to do with it is, let's say I have 3 wires that I'm trying to put together, and 2 of them are going to be coming out one side of the shrink wrap, like so. If this is the shrink wrap, and would have 2, it's a big piece of shrink wrap, by the way, it's used for my ham radio stuff. But if we had 2 pieces of shrink wrap, or 2 pieces of wire, sorry, coming out of the shrink wrap like this, you can see that right there. I like to put a little bit of hot glue in between them where they're soldered together, so when the shrink wrap shrinks down, it makes a good seal, and you don't get like dust or water or moisture in there to mess up the solder connection. So, but you'll see me do that in the video at some point. Okay, so for this first part, I'm going to do wire up the micro bypass. So first thing I'm gonna do is cut this wire short, because it's got way too much. I'm not going to my e-brake. I don't need that much in there. So I'm gonna cut it off the same length as these others. Then I'm going to strip back the wire. Since all the other wires are pre-stripped, I don't have to do this on the others. Alright. Alright, so I took the, sorry, I was reading the instructions for the micro bypass. So this wire should be the blue remote wire. I'm gonna check that really quick. Okay, yeah, so this is the remote wire. So for these 2, since I'm not actually soldering anything, I need to put it in here. So make sure it goes all the way in. crimp down right there, and then I like to turn it. So if I crimped across this way, I like to do like 90 degrees to that and crimp it down again further down on the shaft. Right there. Okay, that's pretty tight, so it'll work. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So these two green wires need to be soldered together. So this is the third brake wire, and this green wire coming off of the micro bypass. Just a word of caution, the micro bypass is only supposed to be used for off-road use only, but it allows you to use all of your features of your radio. Okay, so those will go together. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is, since this is green, I'm going to do a green heat shrink. So we'll put that on here. Gonna fit it up one more time, make sure it fits before I commit to soldering. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, so I'm gonna use soldering iron, make sure it's clean, good to go. And we're going to solder. There we go. That's a good one. Alright, take elevator clips off. And then we're gonna slide the piece up. And then heat shrink. Okay, there we go. So that's one heat shrink and done. It's on there pretty good. So the next one is going to be the ground. And so I'm gonna video this one. After this one, I'm gonna just time lapse going through everything. But so for this one, I have to get these two together along with the ground right here. So I have to solder all three together. And I'll do that in a heat shrink, and since it's the ground, I'm gonna use a black. I have to look at another tub. Sorry, looking at that tub of stuff. I don't have a black, so I guess I'll just use a red. Should work. Should be fine. Should be able to tell that it's around. And I'll show you what I was talking about with the hot glue to burn my fingers a little bit when I do it, so it'll be fun. All right, here we go. So what I do is I get them close together like this. So you can either do it before, here. So I get them like right up next to one another. So you can either do it before or after. It doesn't really matter. You get the hot glue and you use just a little bit and you hold them together and you kind of smear it on there. Now it will melt a little bit when you're soldering it. Drop. Good. All right. So you gotta kind of get some of the extra hot glue off there. You gotta wait for it to cool down. Before it cools down all the way, you kind of smush them together. Alright, so now they're kind of like stuck together. You can see that. Kind of stuck together. Alright. So I have my heat shrink on there. Put these two on here. And then I want to kind of twist these together. Well, they're not like 100% twisted together, but they're like close together, the two that are hot glued together, because you don't want to twist them, because then you can't do this and like slide the wires into one another until they're making a really good connection. All right, so let me show you that. Let me zoom in. All right, you see how the wires are like shoved together that way with one another? That's how you want them to be. All right, I'm gonna solder these together real quick, and then the rest of the video after this will just be time lapse of me, soldering the rest of the wires together. All right, there we go. Ooh, see, hot glue had come back to life. All right, and we're going to heat shrink these. And if you do the heat shrink right, you should see some hot glue come out the end like that. I don't know if you can see that. You see some of the hot glue coming out the end. There we go. And the rest of this is just gonna be time lapse of me doing all the wires together. Oh, and I almost forgot. So these two wires aren't used for anything on the radio. So I'm going to cap these, and you'll see me cap them in the video. What I do for capping is I'll cut the exposed wire parts off, where it's just ends with the sheathing and no wire coming out. Like you see here, none of that wire will be out. I'll put a dab of hot glue on each one, and then I'll use some shrink wrap on them and just have them sitting in there closed off like that. This is my test setup. So I have a 12 volt power supply right here. Fuse panel right back here, as you can see. Then I have the wire hookups from a car that I took out of the junkyard. So you have the speaker and the power and all that. Okay, so I have everything hooked up, have the antenna hooked up, also have USB hooked up. We're gonna go ahead and plug that in. This is a dual port, so I have it go into both USBs in the back of this. So let's flick it on. There we go. So yeah, we want English. We want like the iPod hookup and all that, yeah. Okay. So it looks like everything is working. It's kind of loud. So this is the USB. Let's check the radio. Let's go to it. Station I know has. Go to 98.1. Yep. So everything seems to be working, which is good.